I never expected to be treated like royalty at my wife's sister's wedding, but I also never expected to be welcomed like a ghost. Weddings are supposed to be about love, family, and joy. That's what I thought as I fixed my tie in the mirror of the hotel room, getting ready for what was meant to be a wonderful event. I wasn't just another visitor at this wedding, I was family. I had been married to Rose for 5 years. 5 years of coming up for every holiday, every birthday, every family function where I smiled, nodded, and played the role of the excellent husband. 5 years of making small talk with her father, who never quite knew what to say to me, and her mother, who always found a way to make me feel like I was standing on the outside looking in. But today was different. Today was going to be a celebration, where I was, without a doubt, part of the family. That's what I told myself as I stepped into the grand ballroom, my sneakers clicking against the polished marble floor. The venue was lavish, the kind of place that shouted, "No expense spared." Crystal chandeliers gleamed from the ceiling, long white drapes framed the towering windows, overlooking a magnificent garden. Every table was draped in pristine linen, adorned with fresh flowers and set with gleaming cutlery. I made my way toward the seating chart, expecting to see my name right next to Rose's at the family table. That was the obvious spot for me, wasn't it? Right there, with my wife, sharing her sister's big day. I scanned the elegant handwriting on the chart. My eyes moved quickly, then faster. I couldn't find my name. Maybe there was a mistake. I checked again, and again. Nothing. An odd sensation prickled at the back of my neck. A slow-building uneasiness. I scowled, glancing around. One of the wedding planners stood nearby, adjusting the placement of a centerpiece. She was young, maybe a college student hired for the night. When she caught me staring at the seating plan, she gave me an awkward, apologetic smile. "Excuse me," I said, keeping my voice light. "I think my name might have been left off by mistake. I'm the groom's brother-in-law, Rose's husband." I expected her to double-check, maybe reassure me it was an error. Instead, she hesitated. Her smile grew stiff. "Yeah, all fine." Didn't like that reply. She flipped through her clipboard, scanning the pages before nodding. "You're at table 24. Table 24. Seemed fine." Until I noticed something. Inside the grand ballroom, the tables only went up to 23. I blinked. "Where exactly is table 24? She hesitated again. Then she pointed toward the entrance of the ballroom, the opposite direction of where I expected to go. I followed her gesture and felt my stomach drop. There, outside the main reception area, tucked away in a lonely corner beside the coat rack, sat a small, isolated table. For a second, I thought I was seeing things. My chest tightened. "That's my table?" The planner winced. "I just follow the chart." A harsh laugh escaped me, disbelief washing over me in waves. This had to be a mistake. There was no way my own wife had placed me outside the reception. Like an afterthought. I glanced toward the crowd, scanning the room, until I found her. Rose, my lovely, polished, charming wife. She stood near the wedding party, giggling at something her sister had said. She looked radiant, her dress flawless, her hair styled to perfection, her posture effortlessly graceful. She was glowing. And then, she noticed me. Our eyes met, and she smirked. I started walking toward her, weaving through the guests, my mind still trying to rationalize what I'd just seen. Maybe she didn't know. Maybe it was an oversight. Before I could speak, she cut me off. "Only close family gets a table," she said, amusement lacing her voice, like she was letting me in on some inside joke. It took me a moment to absorb her words. Only close family. I searched her face for some sign that she was joking. A playful wink, an eye roll. Something. But there was nothing, just that smirk. And suddenly it hit me. This wasn't a mistake. This wasn't an oversight. This was deliberate. Rose had done this on purpose. I exhaled slowly, a heavy weight settling in my chest. My fingers curled into my palm, not in anger, but in something colder, heavier. I turned back to the lonely table near the coat rack, a table for people who didn't belong. That was where my wife had placed me, away from the celebration, away from her, and for the first time, I realized something I had overlooked for far too long. Maybe Rose never actually considered me family. Maybe I had wasted 5 years believing I was part of something that never truly included me. Maybe I had been blind. And now, standing in that grand ballroom surrounded by laughter and joy, I felt something unexpected. I felt done. Not angry, not sad, just done. Her hold? No rise, I replied, my voice calm. I guess I've let it go long enough. Her eyes widened slightly, a split-second fracture in her calm. She knew this was different. I wasn't just annoyed, I wasn't just upset. I was done, and that horrified her. "Alex," she tried again, gentler this time. "Please, this isn't the time." I let out my breath, shaking my head. "When would be the time, Rose? When we get home, so you can smooth things over. Pretend like this never happened." She didn't answer, because we both knew that's exactly what she would have done. I looked to Janet, who was still watching with that smug, superior air about her, even though I could see the fractures growing beneath her neatly maintained facade. And then before I could stop myself, I remarked, "Interesting, isn't it? How Rose has spent years letting you treat me like I'm beneath her, all while grumbling about you behind your back." Janet's expression clouded. "Pardon me?" she snapped, her voice tight and clipped. I shrugged. "Oh, don't act so startled, Janet. You're not simple to deal with, and Rose has had a lot to say about you." Rose whirled on me, her voice low and angry. "Alex, stop!" But I wasn't stopping. Not anymore. I turned to Janet. "In fact, last month she told me she wished you'd stop interfering in our marriage, that she's simply biding her time till she can finally set boundaries." Janet gazed at Rose. The transformation was instant. The phony warmth, the smug certainty, all of it evaporated. "Is that true?" Janet demanded. Rose's mouth opened, but no sound came out. Because there was no way out of this one. If she disputed it, she'd be calling me a liar. If she revealed it, she'd lose her mother's backing. And for someone like Rose, someone who had devoted her whole life to making sure she stayed on her mother's good side, that was awful. I watched it unfold in real time. Her finely created world, her nicely managed image, breaking. Guests were openly gaping now. Bridesmaids, groomsmen, distant relatives, everyone was watching as Rose floundered. And then, as if things couldn't get worse for her, the groom, Daniel, moved forward. He looked at his new wife, Rose's sister, then back at Rose. His expression was unreadable until he said, "Wait, you talk about your mom like that?" The tension in the room quadrupled. Because now it wasn't only Rose's reputation that was in danger, it was her entire family dynamic. Janet was staring at her daughter like she was a stranger. The guests were chewing this up, swapping whispers and looks, watching every face, alter like it was the greatest reality show of the year. And me? I just stood